Hello, everyone. How are you? Let me make sure that we are streaming where we need to stream before we get started. I'm so excited for today. It's the first day of Spirit Communication Challenge. So, super excited. Let me share it out to everywhere I need to be at. I need probably change some stuff on here. Some of the titles. I'm using a new program, so we'll see. Let's see what we're doing. Let me know if you guys can hear me and see me okay. Make sure that I am good on audio. Make sure I'm good on video before we get started. I think the title is wrong, but it may just be my end. I will fix that after the replay. Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming in. We're going to wait for some people to come in live today. Hopefully, I'm not choppy. So it's a new streaming that I'm going live. You know how it is when we use, when Madam Z uses new technology, things always go wonky. So let's make sure that we are voice. Yes, I can. Good. Yep. Everything looks good. Let me make sure I am in the right group. Yeah, it is. So it says do's and don'ts of paranormal investigations. Don't worry about that. Today's day one. I will fix that on the replay after we are done. So all this kind of stuff you kind of you learn about with new technology. So I'm super excited about day one of Spirit Communication Challenge. We're going to be spending the entire week together doing all kinds of spirit communication and really just releasing some fears and some things that that are keeping us from stepping into the spirit communication gift that you are given. So my name is Madam Z, and I am a magical life coach, a spiritual communication practitioner, certified demonologist, a high priestess, and a pagan witch. And I have an awesome online academy where I teach newbie witches coming out of the broom closet. So hello, Monique. Hello, everyone. Some of the people will just come over as Facebook users unless I have your name on here. So that's why I'm trying to greet everyone as they come in. I have to probably pull you up on my phone. So while I am doing that, let me know where you guys are from. I know some of you posted in the group, right? We have people from all over the place. There we go. Now I can actually see you guys and the comments, which is good. All right, we're good this way. So if I'm looking on this side, that means I am looking at comments. So Jared says restream looks good. I think I'm going to move you over here. I can read y'all. Wendy says you can hear and see is fine. I do need a different title. Yeah, don't worry about the title. I'll change that. We will definitely change that for sure. So we're going to be spending 5 days together. So I'm super excited about that. You're in Chicago. Thanks, Monique. Bloomington, Indiana. And the Academy is amazing. Thanks, Jared. And Dennis said we can hear you. Tanya said we're all good. So I think we're good, y'all. I think this is kind of working. So don't forget, I'll change the title. Don't worry about that. So we'll change that. So today is day one. How many by the raise of hands or your favorite emoji, your favorite ghost emoji, favorite paranormal emoji? How many of you got your workbook printed out, opened up to day one, super excited by the shows of emoji? Give me some hearts up, some thumbs up, some favorite emoji of yours so that I know that you are ready to go. I printed mine out and I have mine on the screen also. So we're super excited about that. If you haven't got the workbook, I'm only sending the workbook out to people who are on the actual list to sign up, and the link is actually pinned to the top if you guys haven't. Yeah, we got a raised hand who haven't got the Monique didn't get it printed. That's okay. If you don't have it printed, you can just have it up and then you can print it later, because there's lots of prompts in there. And so it's going to be really fun when you guys actually start writing your prompts and going through it step by step how I have it. Don't skip a day, because like I said, there is a madness to my method, and we're going to be building on some stuff. So definitely don't skip. Netta said she's in Austin. Sherry, hello, Sherry. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Jeanette's got me some love emojis. Signed up but didn't receive the workbook. I'll check, because I know you're on the list, Netta. I checked all the emails today to see who signed up, and you're definitely on there, and I will send you the workbook for sure. So let's jump into it, because you guys should have the workbook. If you haven't signed up, please sign up for the workbook so you can get the workbook. I mean, if you haven't signed up for the challenge, sign up for it. The link is in the top pin post, and that is the only way that you're going to get the workbook, and that is the only way that you're going to get the replays. I'm only sending out the replays to the people who are on my list. So let's do some housekeeping before we get started, because I know y'all want to know about the prizes, right? So we want to know about all the prizes, which are cool. So we're good. So I think I caught up on comments. So Monday, I am going to actually start pulling the prize winners. In order to win the prizes, I'm just going to have one big prize. I'm not going to do a whole bunch like I usually do. I'm just going to have one big prize. And that is going to be a 30-minute session with me, one-on-one coaching about spirit communication with me. And I'm going to be announcing the winner on Monday. In order to get eligible, or to be eligible for the prize that will be announced on Monday, you have to participate every single day on the thread. You have to actually sign up through that link where you sign up and get the replays and that workbook. You have to engage, you have to communicate, you have to share. This is a challenge that I created for you to be more involved into your gifts that were given to you. So the more you participate, the more you communicate, the more you connect with other like-minded people, and the more you release, and the more you step into your power, and the more you are seen, the more you're going to be able to be eligible to win prizes, and the more confident you're going to become as a spirit communicator. So Celia's here. Hey, Celia. Cecilia, I'm sorry. And Netta's, two others were commenting on Netta, so we're good. Hello. We got some people in here from the Academy, so glad to see you. So let's go ahead, and I want to get started on telling you a little bit about my backstory before we get started. So I'm just drinking regular iced tea today, nothing major. MJ, Lisa, yeah, where's our other crew at? Cecilia, get them in here. Get them peoples in here. We're tagging some people in the Academy to come in. So I've been doing this for a long time, but a lot of you probably know me as either the witch mentor, the witch kind of coach who helps people coming out of the witchy broom closet, the tarot master, the tarot teacher. That's where you guys will probably know me as. But what you probably didn't know about me is I've been doing necromancy for as long as I've been witching. And I've been witching for about 35 plus years now. I started way back when. But when I started way back when, it was still very taboo about how to talk to spirits. There was no movies. There wasn't any kind of books that you can go read about it. Because, I mean, it was very underground, more than actually becoming a pagan. Becoming a pagan was deep underground enough, but if you want to like hone in on your skills more than just being the umbrella pagan or umbrella, Wicca, then finding anything on necromancy or spirit communication or mediumship, it was hard to do. I think when I started doing mediumship, the first book that I actually picked up was Sybil Leek, which I absolutely love her. I've been revisiting a lot of her stuff, a lot of her books, but she was an original kind of spirit communication, trance medium, paranormal investigator who I really just loved. And I happened upon her book as I was trying to find someone to mentor me, some books to read. Where do I start? Because there wasn't a lot of those people around. And if they were around, they definitely weren't teaching, because I came from a very small town. Hey, MJ. I'm going to wave at MJ. I came from a very small town in Tennessee, Alabama's southern rural area, and there just wasn't a lot of people there that would know anything about this. And if you did say that, oh, I want to communicate with the dead, then you're pretty much going to hell, right? Or you're summoning demons or that kind of thing. So I was struggling to find a teacher. I was never going to find one. I was struggling on where to really hone in my skills. I was trying to figure out why am I having these gifts? How do I hone these gifts? How do I work with these gifts? And there's got to be something going on that someone has a name for it that I just don't know what it is. Because I was always drawn to cemeteries. I was always had this innate sense of just knowing, and we're going to talk about the clairs later in a little bit. And I always was like, there's something going on that I just feel like I'm going crazy. Something is just weird. I don't know how to put my a handle on it. I don't know how to hone it. I don't know how to control it. What is this? If you are struggling with any of that, can I get, like a struggle emoji or something? Like, if you understand, like, oh my God, I know what these are. I just want to learn how to work with them. I want to learn how to step more into my power. So give me some emojis if you kind of feel like that too. If you're feeling kind of stuck, you want to be going in a different direction, but you just don't know where to go, or what you need to do, or what are clairs. That's another thing that we need to talk about, and we will. So if you are struggling a little bit with that, or you're just like, I don't know which way to go, I don't know what to do, give me some some emojis, some struggle emojis, so I know that I'm not the only strange one here that was struggling with that. I went through that in the mid 80s. Yeah, Sherry went through that too. Does anybody here know Sybil Leek, or have heard of Sybil Leek? I'm just showing my age for sure. If you guys don't know who Sybil Leek is. Tanya said, I need to learn to communicate on purpose instead of randomly. Yes, exactly. I want to strengthen my clairs, Wendy said. MJ's on fire. Yeah, so good. And Netta was like, yeah, struggle. We're on the struggle bus. There's nothing wrong with that. All of us are on the struggle bus at one point when it comes to spirit communication, and when it comes to stepping in our power and intentionally receiving the messages and knowing what to do with those messages, or how to center yourself and how to open yourself up to receiving messages. Because if you don't know how to open yourself up, and on the flip side of that, if you don't know how to close it down, all these random shit's going to come up, and you're just going to be like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what this is. What am I supposed to do with this message? Who's this message for? What is this feeling? What do I do with it? How do I recognize it? That kind of thing. So yeah, Netta said, you tell me about it. I really do recommend that you go look up some of her books, and maybe some of her old YouTube channel or YouTube videos, and really look, and you can Google some of her actual mediumship that she's done that I find super fascinating. She's old school, so she's very interesting. And Jeanette said, I'm interested in witchcraft and paranormal since age 12. Yeah, you'll find that the gifts come when you're younger. And then when you're younger, you just kind of like tend to shut it off, right? because people don't, as adults and kids, right, different energy, and adults don't really know how to help children hone into their gifts and to work with their gifts. Another one, if you have, here's a tip. If you have a child who has very sensitive or into clairs, or you don't know how to help them, how to encourage them, how to show them not to be afraid, how to actually take control of the power back of their clairs. I think it's called Paranormal Children, and it's done with Jeff Coffey. I think his name is Jeff Coffey. His last name is Coffey, Coffey. I recommend that you find his show, watch it, and it will help you connect and encourage your children to really step into their clairs and not discourage them and not make them think that they're kind of weird, which you don't. I'm not saying you do, but you just want to make sure you're helping them develop those. And hello, everyone. Sherry said, can be very frightening as a child. Yes, teen when you don't know what's happening. Yep, psychic kids. Yep, thank Tanya. Thank you so much, Tanya. His name's Chip Coffey. ChipCoffey. Chip Coffey. Yep, he's amazing. I love him. So go back and watch some of his stuff and see how he helps children really develop their psychic clairs. So that's a little bit about me. I've been doing, I feel not so weird, but it's almost like I've been drawn to not the mainstream type of mediumship. I never was into just standing in front of people like John Edwards or the Long Island Medium and just doing what we call gallery readings. I've never been drawn to that. I've always been drawn to doing spirit communication in graveyards. Can I get a hell yes for graveyard work? And candle flames and what we call our Ouija board, spirit boards. Netta said we talked about their gifts all the time. Yeah, Netta is one of my students, and we worked with her and I mentored her. And whenever we do, or whenever I do fairs, she is my right-hand man. So she comes with me, helps me set up, we sit and talk, and some of the conversations that we have had at events and fairs, you guys are just, I mean, we should just put it on YouTube and just, you guys should be privy to the conversations that me and Netta have in private about this kind of stuff. Because it's very fascinating, it's very interesting. So when he said her daughter was clairvoyant when she was younger, but got so freaked out that she blocked it, and that's normal. That's normal. She's developing intuition now. Awesome, that's good. Jared says, same here, makes life interesting for sure. Hey, Angela, hello, how are you? Angela is one of my witchy peeps in Huntsville. So hello, Angela, thanks for hanging with us. And yes, man, graveyard communication is great. Yeah. So even though we are spirit communicators, right? And we're still weird within the weird because we don't like the whole of what I call gallery readings. We like the dark, macabre kind of taboo stuff, right? What I call physical mediumship, where you actually watch the flame flicker back and forth. You watch the Ouija board respond to you. You hear the bells ring when you have the spirit bells that you actually set up. Table tipping is another one. So this is what we call physical mediumship. And in order to develop those, you have to develop your clairs. So a lot of you are like, I don't resonate with that. So I'm not sure where I fit in, because you probably think you're the weird underneath the weird kind of people. And even mediums kind of think you're like way out there kind of weird. Well, you come to the right place, because we embrace you here. We love weird among the weirds. Oh, Jared grew up in a funeral home. Oh my gosh. What was it? It was the haunting of something. New Hampshire, New something, where it was a funeral parlor, and it was a mainstream movie. It was really good. I love that one. My guide shut me down as a kid, so I couldn't hear them. At least that's what I've been learning. You're going to learn to reopen those gifts, for sure. So let's talk a little bit about the difference of the clairs. There's a lot of clairs. I'm only going to talk about 5. And I posted in the thread, right, what clairs that you guys want to develop, or what clairs do you want to step into. So I'm only going to talk about maybe 4 of them. I'm sorry, just 4. There are many of them. There are ones that are the 4 majors we're going to talk about, but then there are lesser ones that you may not have known about. But I'm just going to talk about the top 4 today, because most of you will fall into this category. Angela said, I'm the weird, the smell the dead seer. Oh, wow. Now, see, I don't. We're going to talk about that. I don't get, every now and then I'll get scents, but I don't get smells. It has to be very, very strong. That's really interesting, Angela. I love that. Weird among the weird. So let's talk about the 4 clairs first. The first thing I want to talk about is clairaudience. And when I go through these, I want you to type in the comments which ones you feel that you resonate with the most, or which ones you feel that you have. Okay? So clairaudience. That is all about hearing voices. And if you resonate with clairaudience, I don't hear voices like that. What you will hear is when you're in communication, or you're working between the veil, or you have a client and you're working with spirit communication, you may hear voices give you answers. And Tanya said her brother could smell his wife had a patient. Oh, the day the nurse. That's sad. Clairaudience, yeah. I have them all to some degree. And we're going to talk about that too, Lisa. And I don't want you to think about, I only have one clair. You have multiple clairs, okay? And I want you to try to develop a lot of these clairs, and just don't hone in on one. Because just like any well-rounded witch, or pagan, or sorcerer, or spirit communicator, whatever you want to call yourself, you need to live and work and do your magic being well-rounded and knowing a lot of things, okay? Because spirit will come to you at many different directions. So clairaudience messages kind of sound like someone is talking to you, actually talking to you. I don't get a lot of those. And people will ask me, well, how do you know this person isn't just like freaking crazy and hearing voices, right? Because that's a fine line. You guys will know that everybody wants to, talk about, oh, the reason why she killed her children is because she was hearing voices and the devil made her do it, kind of thing. The voices will not be menacing. They will not be upsetting. They won't be harsh or tormenting or telling you to commit murder, commit atrocities. What they were going to do is give you answers to your questions. They're going to be very short. They may even be one sentence or one word. Okay, so they arrive usually during readings, and they're very straightforward. So you'll hear something like, if you want to ask a question, right, and you'll say, well, wait until next week. Or your question is, should I sign that contract? No. Or should I take that job? The answer you'll hear is yes. So very short messages, and they're not going to be menacing. They're not going to be negative stuff, but they are going to hear like someone is talking to you. Now, what I usually do is I want you guys to let me know with your favorite emoji. The gang has arrived. Good. Let me wave to my people that are in my academy. Hello, girls. Hello, girls. So I always hear when this happens to me, and I usually am not even in session. I'm usually just randomly, just kind of like meditating, or not even sometimes meditating so much, but I will hear someone call my name out of the blue. That's the most that I have usually in clairaudience. And I've been hearing my name since I was a child. And I usually hear it right before I go to sleep, kind of thing. And I've learned to ignore it because I'm like, I'm going to sleep. I'm not in the mood to do any spirit communication. Or sometimes I'll just be by myself and I will just hear my name call out of the blue. And knowing that no one's in the house, knowing that, it is just weird that I could hear my name. And when I was a kid, I would always go to my mom and I was like, Mom, do you call my name? And she's like, no, I was outside. So I've known to recognize that I don't want to hear you right now. I know that you're calling my name. I don't want to do spirit communication. I'm busy. Don't bother me. And I've learned over the years to recognize that. So yeah, then it says I hear, but I can't control it. Yeah. That sounds like the voice in my head, but they've heard spirits, Mona giggle, and knock around. Yeah. You need to ask them. When that happens, say, what do you want? If you're open to spirit communication, what do you want? What do you want me to tell somebody? What messages do you hear from me? So clairaudience is about clear hearing. So let's go to clairsentience, which is about feeling. Okay. So yeah, you have that. Clairsentience, yeah. So the messages will come through as like a feeling, especially if you go through like to haunted places, or you go to haunted properties, or a situation where something just doesn't kind of, you get a feeling of sick feeling, you get a feeling of someone like being, and it sounds really morbid because not everybody is going to have a death experience, but I deal with a lot of people who have death experiences. So you'll hear I'm feeling really like heavy in the left side of my head. I'm feeling a pain kind of thing. That'll probably be where the trauma happened. So it's more of like a feeling when you walk into a house, you're like, this feels negative. And I know you guys have felt that. I know you guys have been to a certain place, and it doesn't even have to be haunted, where you've walked into a place and you're like, something feels wonky here. Feels really weird. So that is about sensing the collective energy of the people who have passed over and bringing it into the earthly plane, which is here. So you'll sometimes get physical ailments like being sick or tired, or if it's mental stuff, it'll be like feeling very depressed or angry. Or sometimes you'll be feeling very nurturing, very sweet energy, kind of bubbly energy if that person was happy all the time. But you will actually feel the sensation through your body. So I want you to pay attention to that. Sometimes you'll feel tightness around your throat if this person was strangled or couldn't speak. So this is kind of very much working on the feeling you get in a situation. It doesn't necessarily have to be a haunted type of environment. It can just be a situation when you're doing spirit communication with yourself or with a client. You can say, I feel like this person is just really heavy, really depressed, lots of anxiety, or maybe this person, I'm getting a large like pain in my back. So you want to just ask questions about that. So, and sometimes I'll get like physically and you'll get headaches. That's another one. You'll get a lot of headaches. And sometimes I'll get like physically ill, like nauseous. So that's another one that you're having a clairsentient, which is feeling. Let me catch up on comments. So let's see. Cecilia says she hears bacon sizzling. That's funny because I made bacon this morning, which I hardly ever make bacon, just because it's a pain in the butt. I love bacon, but Tanya said it's all fun and games until you feel shot in the shoulder. Yeah, and you'll learn to tell if it's your emotions or if it's a spirit emotional. You will learn to tell the difference. In the beginning, you won't. In the beginning, you're like, why am I feeling this way? Something's going to happen kind of thing. And you're going to learn how to realize that, oh, that's not my feelings. I am not taking on this. And then you'll learn to push that back, and you'll learn to tell them to say what it really is. And Jeanette says she's very sensitive. Corinne said, totally me. Yeah. So let's look at clairvoyance, which is about seeing. Now, a lot of you probably are kind of fall into this category. About clairvoyance is seeing. So this is when you see images. You see like movies kind of play out in your third eye, in your mind, right? So they'll come to you in like images, in sceneries, sometimes with symbols they'll come to you. If they're drowning, if they drowned or something, you might see like water or something like that. So you want to really pay attention to how you are seeing things. And what I want you to do on this is especially seeing, because seeing and clairvoyance is different for everyone. So you need to create kind of a cheat sheet or a log of what an image means to you specifically. Because if I see an image, it may not mean the same thing to me as it does to you. So you need to start developing your own clairvoyance key or cheat sheet is what I say. Start writing that stuff down. Tina said clairvoyance is my strongest one. Sherry, my main two clairs are clairvoyance and clairsentience. Yeah, I'm not able to control my clairs. We're going to work on that. And I got shown images of things that make sense to me. Sometimes I get a song. That's a good one too, Jared. And I get weird trivia shit like old cartoons and especially Disney movies lately. Yes. Jared, I want you to start working on your cheat sheet, your keys to those and what that means to you. And the more you develop those, and the more you recognize those, and the more you practice it, it won't become confusing to you. You'll know exactly what that meaning is, because the spirits are trying to communicate to you the way that you know how to interpret those. And the best way that you can get that through a client is how you can interpret those images. So you need to start working on your cheat sheet, right? Let's see. My visions are exactly how that happened. That's cool too. I need to develop one. Clairvoyance. Yes, we're gonna work on that. Oh man, the sheet is gonna be hella weird. Yeah, it is, but I love it. So for example, for one of mine is like when I see a lot of fish, right? Usually that means that prosperity, abundance kind of thing. There's a couple symbols for that. Plenty, abundance, and also prosperity. Okay. So that's where you want to, and like a crossroads, if you see like a crossroads, for me, it's always like making a decision. Or if you're at like two swords, right? You're making a decision. So that's the way I see it, and that's the way it's been presented to me, and that's the way the spirits know how to present their images to me, so I can tell my client the right thing. I get Pink Floyd's song, and I know it's my mom. Oh, yes! That's another one that you want to think about, too, is what symbols, as far as flowers, represent friendship and love and romance and offerings of like peace, right? So you want to work with those. So let's talk about the very last one is claircognizance. Now that's my number one. I have a lot of these clairs, and you probably might want to look and see which ones are your top clairs. Cecilia said sometimes I get songs in my head. Yeah. Sending clowns for my mom. Oh, see? Exactly. So anytime you hear that song, you're going to always know that that's your mom, right? So claircognizance is about knowing. And this is what my biggest clair is. Claircognizance. It's just, you just know. You just know the phones are going to ring. You know who it is on the end. And it's just the super intuitive ability to really just know things and to trust your gut. Okay. I can't tell you exactly as far as why it happens, right? Because I've just trusted it. I've learned to trust it. There's a time where I was, we talked about that earlier in the video, where I just didn't know what to do with it. Why do I know this stuff? And I was like, that's weird. That's just deja vu kind of thing. But now I know to recognize it, to honor it, and what that really means, and to freaking pay attention to it. That's the biggest thing you guys are going to get out of this challenge, is that you need to trust your intuition, your clairs, your images, your sense kind of thing. And it's just it's almost like tapping into the subconscious energy when you just know things. And it's a combination of both for me. So when I would just say I just know things, it's also a combination of seeing images and smelling things. So it's a combination of putting all that together in one package and just be like, I know this is going to happen. I know it's going to happen. So it's kind of like a download almost of spirit when you do that. So next time you want to try to figure something out, or something comes through and you're just, I know it's going to happen, then I want you to write that down. I want you to trust it. Because the knowing is a little bit more complicated, because it's not as in your face. It's more opening up your third eye and tapping into your subconscious energy. And it's not so much as far as just seeing that movie play or seeing that image be sent to you. So it's not as so much tangible. It's about developing that. So I guess the numbers on the price is right. Yeah. That's really cool. I like that. And that's another thing that you guys can do, is play trivia games with that. Usually what I do to help develop some of this stuff is I will play something on the radio, or something's going to be coming up on the radio, and I'll say the next song that's coming up will have the word stone in it, or waterfall in it, or whatever it is, and see if that comes through. That's a really good way to that I worked with to do mine. I might have all ones semi-blocked. Yeah, we're going to work on clearing those out too. So let's talk about today's workbook and today's daily prompt. So day 1 in your workbook is the daily prompt, and it is going to be about what do you want to achieve in the next 5 days. And the way that I want you to do this in step by step is day 1, day 2, day 3, and day 4 and 5, right? But at day 5, we're going to do some reflection work on how far you've come into your clairs on day 5. So I really want you to set time. We talked about this in the beginning of the workbook, about setting your intentions, lighting your candles, getting out your divination tools, playing some music, setting some time apart, checking out the moon cycles. I think oh my gosh, when is the dark moon just occurred, I believe. So we're probably in the new moon energy. I haven't even, I'm such a bad witch, right? I've been so busy putting this together that, let me look at my calendar and see. If you don't have one of these little, you need to get one of these. I love these. It's called manifestation planners, but let me see. So you should start working on that on your challenge for the day. Yeah, the dark moon was on the 10th. So yeah, it's a good thing. I love working with dark moons. And that's another thing we're going to talk about a little bit too, is a lot of divination and darker kind of spirit communication starts with the dark moon energy. Okay, so I love that. I'm not so much a new moon kind of thing. I'm more of a darker kind of moon energy. So that's another thing you want to look at, is what moon energy do you really resonate with when you're doing spirit communication. So today we're going to look about what you want to achieve during these next 5 days together. What clairs do you want to develop? And then you have what daily divination draw is telling you, and then one day you hope to be able to, what do you want to do with your clairs? Angela said, that's according to my mom's calendar app. Yep, 9:31. I'm sorry. Yeah. Thank you for that. New moon was yesterday. Thanks. I thought it was. No. Yeah, see, I'm such a bad witch. So Wendy said, my powers are stronger in the dark moon and the full moon. I am either a full moon or a dark moon kind of person. This is why I call my practice Black Moon Tarot and Sorcery. I freaking love that. Freaking love that. So for all the people who are going to be pulling tarot cards, drop in the comments what tarot deck you're going to be using. I just got a new one over the weekend, and I am going to be really connecting with this one. And this is by one of my favorite tarot creators, Barbara Moore, and this is the Wizard's Tarot. And I absolutely adore this deck, and I cannot wait to dive into it. So I'm going to be pulling from the Wizard's Tarot deck, and I'm going to show you what mine looks like. And that is the front of it. It's probably glare, y'all. I'm sorry. And then the back of it is the dragon. So this is the deck that I'm going to be using for the challenge this week. Ooh, tower card. Everybody, okay. Y'all, there's some people in here who definitely need a tower moment coming up for you. So I love that. Something needs to be definitely destroyed so it can be rebuilt. I love that energy of that tarot deck. Don't freak out about the tower card. All right, my witchy sisters, don't forget, and brothers. I always say witchy sisters, but we got a lot of men in this challenge this time. So witchy brothers and sisters, I have to remember to say that. Yeah, add it to your wish list. Wish list, I should say that because it's a cool deck. I love it. Let me know what deck you are using for this challenge. Stay with it. Don't forget that under each daily thread, you need to post your daily prompts, any intuition stuff that's coming up, anything you want to share. The more you share, comment, connect with people, the more that you're going to be eligible to win that big prize that I will announce on Monday. And if you need the workbook, make sure you are signed up in the link to get the workbook. And you will have 5 days of daily prompts. Okay, and if you know someone who wants to come into the challenge, invite them in. The more the merrier, because we're working on collective energy during the next 5 days. All right, so tomorrow, same time, same place at 3:33 Central. And we will see you live tomorrow for day 2 of Spirit Communication Challenge. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. Don't forget to do all of your journal prompts in the workbook. All right, everyone, we will see you tomorrow. Bye, y'all. Witch on.